Hold me down, keep me close, safe and sound. Drowning in an endless sea. Take some time and stay with me. Keep me in the strength of your arms. Keep me safe, safe and sound. Yes, we are. Hold me down. Keep me safe,
Not me.
safe and sound.
What is up? What's going on, people?
Well, looky here. I don't know if any of y'all noticed, but no flaws this time. We both came on. No mute, no delay, no nada.
Hold on. I'm gonna bring in. You gotta see this, bro.
What the?
Oh, to try something different. We'll try something a little different.
What up, JG?
What up? What up? Salute, salute people.
Do that, yo.
What are you using for that?
It's Animix, and it's something.
I got you.
Yep.
you.
I
All
was
right.
just
Well,
snap camera.
You,
They
huh?
got rid of that, so I had to find something else.
Yeah, I like that.
well, it's working fine, brother. Working fine.
Oh, shit. We're going to go a little PG here since we have a little friendly friend with us here tonight.
You know?
What's up, people in the commentary? Welcome and respect to the Everyone's Day, every Wednesday. You know who you are. Basal came and dropped a line for a minute. Dandelion, Drop Shop. How y'all doing tonight?
Respect, people. Respect.
Salute everybody.
Yes, sir. So if y'all notice, I'm on the the right of Anzo tonight. He gave me the head seat. I didn't know I was sitting in a seat lower than him. But anyways, you know, and
Feel no way, bro. Everybody's lower than me. We know this.
you see, no, I do feel no way. I feel no way. And I don't have full capability because, you know, if people talk shit, I can't really send them in the zone. And that's the true pleasure of being in charge is, you know, someone talks shit and they disappear. And you could add some animation to that. And, you know, every time it happens to somebody, I laugh. So it serves its purpose. And I see Danny has gotten really creative with that shit.
Oh, I got one. I know you never seen this one, Roberto, but I want to play it because it has everybody dying.
This little friendly raccoon here.
Yeah, this raccoon has to go in there. Watch this one.
Shut the fuck up. Shut all the way the fuck up until you reach the top of Shut Fuck Mountain where there are no more fuck ups to shut.
What movie is that from, fuck?
I don't know, man. I seen that somewhere and I was like, yo, this is a fucking Phantom Zone for real, bro. I had to do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm just wondering what the hell he did for it to go off like that. That's crazy.
You know? I think Dandelion or someone told us to show in one of the chats when I used it before, but I can't remember what it is. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry if I don't take lead like I should because, you know, it's not often that it happens and I could get mesmerized at times, but I'm still in the show, yo.
Rookie. What?
Rookie, yes, rookie because I ain't doing it enough. Like any of you know, if you aren't consistent in something, it's kind of hard to be a pro at it. So the more times I'm on the right of Monzo, the better I will get.
And he will be on that side more often now. You know what I mean? I think we're gonna switch it up to where he does a show, I do one, and we're gonna do it like that. So I'm giving him access to my StreamYard so that he can have full control. Yeah, we could take care of that. No problem.
Oh, that might be dangerous, yo. That might be dangerous.
It's okay.
Especially
Long as
Danny,
I
'cause,
know.
Danny's always, I have a few paybacks with Danny because you know what he did to me back on Square One.
Absolutely.
But
Danny
yeah,
needs
eyes
those two of
only.
them, to be honest with
Welcome
you.
tonight.
What's up? What's going on, guys? Thank you for coming in. Always a
So,
pleasure.
you gentlemen, my mic is good.
Yes.
Everything's
Yep.
good.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So,
So-
we like to start it off with a little bit of a joke and stuff. I got one, Roberto. I'm gonna play this one. Check this one out, guys.
Now where the fuck is he going? Let him know that this nigga's hiding inside the damn tree. Oh, here and get this man. Oh shit, here comes this crazy motherfucker. Open up this motherfucking door, Miss Jackson. Stop playing with me, bitch. For real. Stop playing with me. Like a bag of weed. Don't nobody give a fuck about no police, Miss Jackson. You don't want to file her taxes. You did that. You know I was supposed to claim one of them fucking kids, man. Now this bitch out in Tulum spending my half of the money eating coochie. The fuck, man? That's the type of bitch you the type of bitch you raising a coochie eater? Open up this motherfucking door. Okay, you know what? That's too aggressive because I'm not even mad. It's just the fact that that bitch has really got my money in Tulum eating coochie. How she eating coochie and her coochie stink? Huh? That shit must run in y'all family, huh? You must have had BV. Your mama had BV. Grandmama had BV. Auntie had BV. Oh, y'all, you know what? Y'all the BV bitches. Open up this door. What is wrong with you, nigga? Bitch, open up this door, Miss Jackson. You know what? I'm going to be right here when she come back. Don't even worry. Now, where the fuck is he going? Let him know this nigga's hiding inside the damn
Who's he pretending to be bushless?
Yeah, he's hiding in the
Oh my
bushes,
god,
bro.
I'm trying over here. Oh my goodness.
I was looking all over that shit to see if I saw TikTok. That's for real?
That is for real, bro. Ridiculous, eh?
That's crazy.
Oh my god. Hold on. I got another one. Oh, I'll play this one first because I know you'll appreciate this one, Roberto.
You shut up and stop insulting people.
Too.
Shut up and stop insulting
Ralph,
people.
shut up.
I edited
Shut
these
up,
videos.
Ralph.
Honorable members,
You're just being ignorant and
I
stupid.
am on my
Ralph,
feet.
nobody can be more
Every-
stupid than you.
Honorable members,
Talk to him.
honorable members, please take your seat.
Oh,
Something
my
wrong with
God.
you,
That's
you
how they get down over there, bro.
No,
Something
May I
really wrong with
rise?
you.
May I rise?
In the most
Why
gentle
don't you
way.
shut up
Oh,
and
you
stop
shut your
insulting
blasted
people?
mouth too. Shut up.
Shut up and stop
Honorable
insulting
Ralph,
people.
shut up.
I've
Shut up, Ralph.
Honorable members,
You're just being ignorant and
I
stupid.
am on my
Ralph,
feet.
nobody can be more
Every-
stupid than you.
Honorable members,
Talk to him.
honorable members, please take your seat.
Something
Where's
wrong
that
with
Oh,
Trinidad?
I knew you would appreciate that one. Yo, if that's how politics is in the Caribbean, I would definitely watch some of those. You know what I mean? If
Oh,
that's
my
the way they
God.
go on, that shit is funny.
Some parts of the world, it's even funnier, man. Talking
I'm
straight
sure,
up
bro.
shoe tossing festival, and I don't know if that's China or somewhere like that, but man,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
crazy in Parliament House, man. I don't think it's China.
Absolutely.
Can't be there. That's communists over there, right?
Right.
Might be
Mhm.
one of those Middle Easterns. I know they throw a lot of shoes. What's the one Bush was in? Somebody threw a shoe at him.
Yeah, he just
Where was
dodged
he
it.
at?
I don't remember.
Some
Maybe
Muslim
someone in the
place.
chat can remind us where it was. I have no idea. Here's another one for you guys. Pure jokes tonight.
Babe,
Yeah.
is your sister still gay, or is she bi, or is she straight, or what?
Babe, what are you talking about?
Well, I don't know. I've seen her with girls and I've seen her with guys, so I don't know.
She just
What
broke
up,
up with her
Tony?
girlfriend. That should give you your answer.
What up, Tony?
Yeah, she's still kind of sad about that, huh?
Well, yeah, she's devastated. Why?
Well, because the FDA just approved new medication for lesbians with depression.
Don't. Just don't.
It's called Tricoxagen.
Oh my god.
That is a good one.
Bro, I was dying when I heard that. I was at work when I played that one. I was dying. I was like, oh man, I was not
Tricoxagen.
expecting that one. Oh, that's hilarious. Do I have another one? Let
How
me
does that
see.
shit work, JG? When you talk, does it react off of you, or it's just constantly moving like this?
Because we have to do is you got to calibrate your face to it. If you get up, you got to come back and recalibrate.
Really?
But yeah, if I
So you can
just follow
switch
the
it to
camera,
different
just follow
ones
your
and
face
shit.
around.
That's cool. Here's another one, Berto. I'm you guys might have seen this one, but this one, oh my god, I was dying.
So, what's 3 plus 2?
5.
Perfect. If Johnny has 3 apples and his friend gave him 2 more, how many he got?
50.
No, where the fuck you get 50 from? If Johnny has 3 apples and his friend gave him 2 more apples, how many apples does he have altogether?
It's not 50, is it 42?
What the fuck is 46 from? You not listening to what I'm saying, you not paying attention.
My teacher, you can't beat the answer to the kid.
God damn, like, come on, it's simple. It's simple math.
Okay, son,
You
listen.
know this.
Listen, son. The answer is 5. So if Johnny got 2 apples and his friend gave him 3 apples, how many apples do he get?
12.
Oh my fucking. Listen, maybe you ain't hear me. I say the answer is 5. So if Johnny got 2 apples and his friend gave him 3 apples, how many apples do he get?
13.
Oh my god, this motherfucker.
Oh man, that's amazing. I could be frustrated. It's funny because my dad used to tell me a story how when he used to teach me to count, right? We'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. And then when I do it by myself, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'd always forget the 5. And it pissed him off, bro. He could not understand how the fuck I could keep missing the 5. Now I was a lot younger than that kid, but yeah, it's crazy.
Damn.
Said, okay, so she said speaker needs that Grace and Frankie shut the fuck up mountain clip. Absolutely. So she said from Grace and Frankie.
Grace
Eyes
and
only
Frankie,
said
that's the name of the movie?
the show, yeah. Eyes only said my aunt used to tell me about someone throwing shoes at Bush a lot. The shoe was tossed at Bush by an Iraqi journalist in Iraq. Yeah, I got you.
It was one time. I don't know about a lot.
I don't know. Probably with him, it wouldn't surprise me if it
Maybe
was more than once.
the other ones didn't make the news, but as far as I was concerned, I only know that one time, and he dodged it like he knew it was coming. It was hilarious, man. No Secret Service jumping in and shit to cover his back,
Absolutely, pure jokes tonight. Here's this one. It's not really jokes, but I want to hear what you guys think about this one.
This texted me at 5:46 in the evening. Now I'm steaming.
Wipe the coals out your eyes, honey.
So who's texting you and why?
It's my man Pop from the barbershop, saying he's at the gambling spot and heard an intricate plot.
No.
Yep. Some people want to stick me like flypaper, neighbor.
Slow down, love.
Please chill.
Drop the caper.
Remember all your peoples from the hill up in Brownsville? The ones you rolled dice with, smoked blunts, and got nice with?
Yeah, that's my man Fame up in Prospect. But they're my peoples. Nah, love wouldn't disrespect.
He didn't mean them.
No, they schooled me to some chumps that knew you back when you was clocking minor figures.
But now they heard you blowing up like nitro.
Great, now they want to stick a knife in my windpipe slow.
Thank Fame for warning me, now I'm warning you!
So you got the Mac. Tell me what you want to do.
Damn. Why they want a sticker for her paper?
They heard about the pounds you got down in Georgetown. Now they heard you got half of Virginia locked down.
They even heard about the crib you bought your mom out in Florida, the 5th corridor.
Call the coroner.
There's gonna be a lot of slow singing.
And flowers bringing, my burglar alarm starts ringing.
What do you think all the guns are for?
An all-purpose war. I already got the Rottweilers by the door.
And I fed them gunpowder so they can devour the criminals. Trying to drop my decimals.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
Damn! Why they want
to... That is crazy.
Where
would you find that?
What do you mean? The video?
Yeah.
It just popped up on freaking YouTube, bro. And I'm going through it, sometimes when I'm at work and I go through some of the stuff, I look through it and I'm like, hey, what is this? What is this? And they did the Biggie shit. I was like, That is weird, but okay.
Some crazy shit. Like they
You
really took
know?
time to do a whole skit.
hmm After that incident, other shoes followed at other events. Gotcha.
Oh, really?
Yep. Oh Lord, this cat is walking around my shit now. She's doing that, not me, guys.
You could do that shit. We add some sound effects to that and be sick.
I swear, like no respect. Huh? You're just gonna stand up on my shit, right? While I'm trying to stream, Daisy? Huh? She's playing in my little weed box over here.
Cat got knowledge.
Oh my Lord, what the hell? Okay. Come on. Come down. Here. Move it over there. Come here.
I was only asking, who's the raccoon?
You know, I was trying to life me figure out what kind of creature this thing was. I said I'm just gonna roll with it.
Is there a big selection of animals to choose from?
Like this is like the free version of it, but it's like I say this is a monkey or something like this, a bear in a suit. There's a luchador.
Oh, we wouldn't want no monkeys up in here and give people some fuel and shit.
What do you expect? Cats are evil. Oh, dandelion. Cats are not evil. They cool. They cool. So, anything you guys wanted to talk about, Roberto? You got anything?
Not really, you know. Like I said, sometimes we just come on the show and life is good, you know. There's nothing really to complain about because all the shit that you complain about has become the norm.
Yep.
So,
Oh, shit. I got this one. Hold on. You guys got to see this one.
She dropped it down. What was ice cream?
Oh, my God. That must have hurt.
oh,
Oh, that must have hurt. That must have hurt. Oops, no. Hold on. All right. So since there's not really much,
What's up,
think I
David?
have.
sorry,
What's up, David
sorry for
Cantona?
my voice sounding like I took that myself.
You know?
That was dangerous.
So here's a question. Did you hear Rodgers actually wants to play for the Jets? That's desperate. Yeah, I don't know why he wants to go to the Jets, but
Yeah.
I think he's just being how the trend is. He's just over sensy, you know. Supposedly he's complaining that Green Bay didn't put out an offer fast enough on the table, but yet he wanted all this time to go away to his retreat and stay underground in the dark for X amount of days and go on that tank top guy's show and talk shit. And I don't know, man. I think this guy is just starving for attention.
But I mean, he's always been
He's
kind
a
of
really
cocky.
good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback. I mean, I used to doubt this guy, and then I had to do a full reversal because he is gifted as a quarterback, but sometimes gift is put in the wrong box, you know?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's always been cocky. Ever since he got to the combine, he's just one of those guys. But I mean, you almost have to have a sense of cockiness within you, especially if you think you're the best, right?
Absolutely.
So I don't blame him, but given his age, doesn't know the length of time he's putting in the league, the Jets. I don't know. I didn't see what the offer sheet was.
Weird.
I was shocked. Sorry, go ahead, Nzo.
Go ahead. No, you first.
So I was more shocked with, if we're going to stick on the sports thing, the Cowboys let go of their champion, you know, jumping in the cereal bowl, Ezekiel Elliott.
Why was that shocking? He's garbage.
Yeah, I know he's garbage. He's been garbage for a while. Why let him go now? I mean,
I guess he was trying to give him a contract here, I guess. He just didn't live up to it.
This guy is not going to survive maybe a year or two in the NFL before his true colors come out.
Yep.
What about that LeBron James stuff with the PEDs? That's been rumored.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, there's a guy, he used to fight in UFC, and he got pretty much kicked out because they found that he was using PEDs. And so he's on the show. He said, "Hey, no, he's named off a bunch of several people." He brought up LeBron James' name. He said, "Hey, no, my drug guy, we got the same drug guy."
Damn.
That was
What
about
up,
maybe
brother?
a week or two ago.
It's Chris Knight's birthday? I didn't know that. What's up, brother? How's it going, man? Thanks for popping in. Sorry, trying to get these stupid things popping up. So yeah, I got something to show here. Want to know what you guys think about it? Since we don't really got much today, it's a slow. But I seen this one and I was like, all right, I think we could talk about this a bit if anything happens.
Hands behind your back. Give me your hands. Give me your hands.
So that's a security guard dragging a little girl out of class because she wouldn't leave. What do you think about that, JG?
You know what? I have a degree to be a teacher, and one big reason why I didn't pursue it, because I'm gonna fight one of these kids at these schools. I'm just saying, I'll fight with them because they're just badasses.
Did you see the video, Roberto?
No, I didn't see it. What happened?
All right, hold on. I'll bring it up.
Hands behind your back. Give me your hands. Give me your hands.
He's arresting a kid?
That's a kid, yeah. A girl, to be exact.
No way.
I didn't know it was a girl.
Yeah, it's a girl.
Holy shit. Well, you know what?
Because she wouldn't leave the class.
That making it a girl makes it that much more worse. But you know, just the fact that he had to rough up a kid like that, like, how sensitive are you, man? What could the kid have said to have deserved that?
Like, either he was on a power trip, or this kid is just one of those kids that, you know, you ever been in a situation or seen a situation where an adult says, you know what, if that kid gets out of line one more time, I'm just gonna go off on him and do whatever I need to do. You got kids nowadays, it's like, you know what, I know you're a kid, but I'll slap the shit out of you, right? That's what I was saying earlier. That's why I didn't pursue education, even though I have my degree in it, because I don't think, knowing me, I can handle teaching kids if they're unruly like that. You know, in a situation where when I was in school, we would get a paddle, we would get discipline, all that stuff. Now they can do whatever the hell they want.
I used to get beaten in high school.
How do you get
used to be nice about it, but you know,
I got the ruler, I got you know,
the
belt,
we
I got
the
book, you know.
Yeah, I got slapped in the
That's
head back
old
there
school.
with a book, and I told my parents about it. They said, "We shouldn't have been doing bad." You know what I mean? But nowadays,
let me tell you something.
You know,
I had a grade 3 teacher, man. She used to have this little wood thing. It was what are they? Protractors? You know, the ones where you put the chalk in and it points and you can make a circle with it. Of perfect circle, right?
Yeah.
But she had this big old wooden one for the chalkboard, right? And she called it Uncle Sam because it was broken. And the reason why it was broken because she broke it over someone, right? So one day we in class and she couldn't find Uncle Sam. So she was flipping. Oh, you guys took Uncle Sam. You think Uncle Sam is all I have? And then she pulled out Old Sam, which was another one that wasn't broken. And she's like, if I don't get that, you know what I mean? I'm gonna, yeah. She used to beat us with it for sure. For sure. But
that's were a lot different.
Yeah,
but now you have to check it on the other side. What if you were that parent?
Oh, you have to see me. So I got to school. I'm looking for him. It's going down.
You know what I'm saying?
If I were the kid and I am the parent of me, I'd be like, give him more licks. He has the devil in him. That's what I'll be saying. Give him more licks, and you know, anybody going to jail, it's you. So give him licks, straighten him out, because I don't want to go to jail at home. That's how I'd be as a parent. You got to be straight.
What up, Danny?
There are some pit bull kids out there that need those licks to keep them in check, and I tell you, those licks kept me in check because my dad was a big man, even though he's not a big man now. But he was once a big man, and Nzo knows my dad back when his voice was like backed by a speaker when he spoke, right? The licks I used to get were never licks that weren't warranted.
Right.
I knew if I did A and B, C would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly that happened. Now, how severe C is, well, you could have some saying it's abuse because, I saw this West Indian kid get licks and I was like, hey, mom, chill out. I think you got the message. You know what I mean? Some people are little X games about it. But in reality, those licks made me, when I was going to do something again, think about those licks and say, nah, Dred, I don't want them licks again. It's not worth it. I pass. And passing was a good thing.
But do you think that's what's wrong with the kids nowadays, is that they don't get licks like we used to?
Not every kid could take licks. Some kids,
That's true. That's
like,
true.
we talked about topics that, had us dumbfounded, where we said, if a school teacher were to make moves on us when we were young, we were like, oh yeah, hell yeah, you hear whistles and but that's not every kid we found out, Nzo. And we found out that there's more people who feel that way out there than feel our way. So is that division? Is there sides? Is there logic issues? Who knows?
But I mean, I think, right, because a lot of people like to, spanking is abuse. And I never took it as that, right? I never took it as, oh, I'm getting abused. And trust me, like, when you have to go get the item that is going to be whooping your ass, that's the abuse right there.
Mental abuse.
You know what I mean? You got to go and get it. Go get me the belt. What? Go get you the what? Go get me my belt. See my belt over there? Go bring it to me.
And then come here. Not you come to me and take it.
Right.
I have to come to you.
Right. You know what I mean? So we used to go through it, man. But I think too, a lot of, oh, that's abuse and this and that. And I'm like, no, man, there has to be some sort of little bit of fear for your parents. You know what I mean? Little bit of fear to say that they're going to, if you fuck up. You know what I mean? And that keeps kids in check. It really does. Kept me in check. I can't lie.
Well, look, David makes a comment here that, you had a couple of kids stab their teachers. We know that stuff's happening. That shit didn't happen when I was in elementary and high school. There was no teachers getting stabbed. People respected teachers. They just, there was an order. There was the odd few, but when it's more a big thing when it's become a majority.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my freshman sophomore year homeroom teacher got stabbed to death in the classroom.
Is this recent?
Oh, this was shit. Maybe 2006, 7. I have to look it up. But I was far out of college by then, doing my own thing. But kid, I guess didn't like her. Knew that she was going to be alone, per the report I remember reading, and stabbed her and killed her.
You have to have, if there's not respect, there has to be fear. There has to be some edge that the parent has over the kid, because in all honesty, we have to call a spade a spade. If the kid does not fear or respect the parent, who the hell are they going to fear or respect? There is nothing holding these kids back. And that's what I'm seeing more of now, because, for a kid to be cocky, it was rare and few, like we'd say, a kid talking back to an adult. Yeah, that kid's going to get boxed in the mouth and it's over. Now that kid can't get boxed in the mouth. And now these kids know they can't get boxed in the mouth. I have a friend of mine. Okay. This man had an assault record like me growing up. So the police look at us as aggressive, right? This guy was literally aggressive from Park X, a Greek guy also. And his son, for whatever reason, he gave him everything that he didn't have. His son did not respect him at all, or his wife, which led to them having a divorce. And you can't blame the kid, but I'm telling you, in this perspective, you can, because I had to take my hat off to this man that he didn't drop licks on his kid.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to do it the right way. The law got involved. He ended up going to a boarding house, and you know, all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of weird shit happened. Back in
Right.
the day, you would have got licks, and no one would have knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
No one would have knew about it because
Mm-hmm.
that's in-house stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
now in-house has become part of the world, and that's the
Absolutely.
downside. That's the downside.
Absolutely. What do
Yeah,
you
it
think,
was
JG?
2011 when that happened. She's from Canada. Or she came down to Memphis, Tennessee with her husband because he was trying to be an optometrist, and Memphis is one of the best
Have a good
optometry
night,
schools
Dandelion. Sorry about that.
in America. So yep, she was a really great teacher. If you're a kid, you wouldn't like her because if she saw you struggling, you didn't care. She would pull you to the side one on one and make sure you got it.
That's
Like a
rare.
real teacher should do.
Then he
This
said
kid
healthy
that killed
fear is
her in the classroom,
what it's called.
from what I'm reading now, planned it for several months. So he already planned it. He was going to kill her.
Damn.
Now I can guarantee he was one of those kids that's probably struggling in class, and she will pull him to the side. Now, some kids they might think, "Oh, you're picking on me." No, she's trying to help you.
You're trying to show me up, and
Exactly, and to do that. But you're right. Like these kids, I've heard a parent say, if a teacher demands my kid to do something, I told my son to let me know, and I'll tell him if he should do it or not.
what?
Mm.
When I was growing up, of course, I mean, like you guys are elders to me,
Right.
but I feared the teachers going to school. Of course, I would try them every now and see if I can get away with it, but that's a kid, they do that. But I
They
would
can-
never sit there and curse a teacher out.
They
throw
could
something
drop
at the teacher.
licks on you when I was in school.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there was penalties for everything, man.
Yeah.
If you broke the law, if you didn't, like I call it abuse. If I came home and my pops came home, a little liquored up, which he never did, or buzzed up, whatever, and just dropped licks on me because he lost some money, that's abuse.
Mm-hmm.
I steal $200 out his wallet. Who knows what that $200 was for? But I stole money from family. That deserved a beating.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And led me to steal less to test the parameters.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized this can't happen. But look at those kids that nothing happens to. They just keep stealing from their parents. Their parents can't do shit.
For real.
Kick them out and it's over.
Yep. But that's the thing, you know what I mean? I think parents nowadays have less rights. Yeah, left rights than they did when we were growing up. That's for sure.
Tough. I take my hat off to
Absolutely.
you. I wish I could help you. I wish you had a taste of our era and make a choice of which one you prefer. I'm sure you would choose ours, but hey, I may be biased because I grew up in it and I grew up in this one. So we can give you a more validated opinion of which one is probably more effective.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because I've seen videos of, I can't remember which one it was, but it was a substitute teacher. This one idiot guy was jumping in her face like, I bet you won't say anything. I bet you won't do this. I mean, and she looked like she was scared out of her mind, which I don't blame her. Because you don't know what that kid's capable of doing.
Mm-hmm. For real.
But
that's the thing. But that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Kids nowadays, they go into school with guns and stuff. So I had one stabbing in my school. There was this kid, he used to pick on this dude every day, man. Every day he used to make fun of this dude. And one day the dude just couldn't take it anymore and didn't really stab him, but cut him like in the back of his neck, you know what I mean? And got expelled from school. But at the same time, like, you pushing this kid every single day, like, what did you expect was gonna happen,
Mm-hmm.
So
these kids don't have fear anymore. They think they're immortal. They can live forever.
The kid and the school.
Absolutely. Danny said, money. Some people gotta have it. Some people really need it. Yeah, absolutely. That's a fact. You know what I mean? Shit, I'm trying to get mine right now. To be honest with you, that's what I'm talking about.
But you see, we came in with nothing and we hit a very good topic. Very good topic.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how well, I know how long ago, but I'm not going to throw dates out there. But I dropped a little licks on my daughters when they had no respect and they were young. And when dad raised his voice, they listened, you know. And, you know, had I not done that, who knows what could have happened, you know? I know we were very loose with our leash with our daughter. I let her go out. I let her sleep out, you know, have to put trust in them.
Absolutely.
And so far, she hasn't let me down. In fact, you know, they both make me very, very proud. Very, very proud. And I learned lessons to share with them, you know?
You know what's funny, Danny? I was watching TV the other day and I seen a commercial where they were using the song, "You got the glow, you got the glow, you need the glow." I was like, what? Like, how do they even know about this? Like, so I can't even remember what the commercial was, like a soap detergent commercial or some crap like that. And they were using this about "you got the glow." And I was like, really? You guys really found that and are using it? Okay, respect. He could have faced the bully and say, "Playtime's over, boy." Yeah, I feel you. All right, so not that I want to put up. I got another thing here. I know Roberto's going to be able to sink his teeth into this one. So you may not know, because I know we talked about his name before. Roberto's like, all right, who's Andrew Tate, right? But Andrew Tate tried to make this little thingamajig here. Let's listen to what he has to say. I'm gonna play this. Hold on, full screen.
Ignore the construction. I'm rebuilding my mansion. We'll see when it's done. We'll do an episode of Cribs. I had to get this area here. I bought my neighbor's house.
Well, he won't be doing an episode of Cribs because he's in jail. So
that's all gonna be lit up and shit. Bugatti logos. Broke boys don't know. Listen, I recently posted a
he's
question
an
on
ass,
Twitter.
though. He's an idiot. I don't like this guy.
Would you rather have sex with a transsexual, which is a legitimate 10, or a woman, which is a legitimate 1? And everyone's sitting there clicking woman, because they think they're going to be gay if they do anything else, but they're not actually thinking about the question. I am so smart. I operate on so many levels higher than the average man. You people are not thinking about the question. When I say a 1 and a 10, I mean Megan Fox with a dick. That's the tranny. Or Hulk Hogan with a pussy. That's the girl. This is the question I'm asking. Megan Fox or Hulk Hogan? So you're thinking, well, I don't want to be gay, so I just clicked the girl, the number 1, did it? You're going to fuck Hulk Hogan? Okay, there's a pussy, but he's got mustache and muscles and shit. He's all hairy, big dude, 6'5". It's pretty gay to me. That sounds pretty gay. I don't care if it's a pussy. That is gay. With Megan Fox, okay, he's got a dick, but maybe you can, like, scoot it away. I'm still Megan Fox. You know what I'm saying? At least she's small as shit. You get your hand around her neck, mess her up. You ain't messing up Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's gonna mess you up. So this is the question I'm asking. You need to operate on a higher plane. Think about this. This is important. This is cultural.
You have too much time on your hands, fuck.
Now, what is straight? What is gay?
This fucking guy's nuts.
If you're gonna sit here and go, oh no, it's gay to bang Megan Fox with a dick, I counter that argument. It's gay to bang Hulk Hogan with a pussy. So which one is it?
Who is this guy?
Is there a shotgun to the face option?
He's a part of the Manosphere.
Lost you on the volume, Nzo.
He's like fresh and. Hold on.
Oh, okay. He's a big YouTube guy.
Yeah, he's
his video fucked you up. That's what happened. And this guy is big and famous on YouTube. That's how he made all his money.
As far as I know.
Wow. I don't know,
I never
man.
really pay attention to him.
I don't know. So, like, when like, again, I don't want to sound repetitive, but when we started this, JG, we just wanted to see how many people thought like us, right? I didn't know all about this. You can make money off it, and this is like a living and shit, you know. and all of the laws and conditions I see that YouTube puts out there, and people are making money, and the people I see making money, I'm like, what? It's almost like a scam to me. Like, what we gotta do? Something stupid, outlandish, like paint ourselves green and do it upside down show. I
Well,
don't
what do you
understand.
think about what he had to say?
I think he's fucking nuts.
Like I
Who
said,
would sit there and think Megan Fox with a dick and Hulk Hogan with a pussy? Who has time for that? Who the fuck would even? I mean, you can't even blame that on drugs. Who would think that? You know, I'm gonna go with a bitch who has a pussy and she's big like Hulk Hogan with a beard and might crush me. Like, that's insane thoughts. I'm sorry.
that's why I was like, is there a shotgun to the face option?
What, you think you might miss? Oh shit. That is insane. I can't believe that my man Nzo even asked me what I think. I can't believe that. This guy was pissing me off.
So if you had the question, what would you do?
I'd walk away. I'm like, are you fucking serious? No fucking way. Are you serious? Who came up with this question? Can I know
I
this
don't know.
person who came up with this question? I need
Yeah,
to see what this
him.
person looks like.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, it's
Andrew Tate.
you. That's the way I
Yeah,
would
that's
play it
him.
on. So, oh, it's you, and this is why I'm walking away because fucking you're a waste of time. You're fucking insane asking me. Don't ask anybody else because the outcome might be worse. That's some stupid
Absolutely.
shit. That's some real stupid shit. And he's all serious, Nzo.
Yeah, I know. And he's saying, right, so for those of you that don't know context about, and you're right, Danny, he is a fool. But if you don't know any context about Andrew Tate, he's in the manosphere, right? So he's the type of guy who says he's a high value man. And first off, he said he doesn't fuck girls over 30 because they're used and abused, and if they have kids, and but it's just all kinds of bullshit that he goes on to. Him and the fresh and fit guys, they do all of that stuff, right? And they try to pretend like they're these big man's man and stuff like that. But then he's running around talking about he would do a tranny. Okay. Hey, if listen, I'm gonna say this straight up. If I had only two choices in the world, right, and it was a Megan Fox tranny or someone that looked like Hulk Hogan, I put the bag over the head, Hulk Hogan. Let's do it.
Facts. No argument for me. Facts.
Because you
Make
a
it
real
a
woman.
big fucking bag.
You know what I mean?
If he's that big, make it a big, durable, glad garbage
you
bag.
a real woman.
We'll try not to
He said
stifle her.
bashing gays. We never bash gays over here. Murder hornets, not at all. Never heard of them. Yeah, you don't want to. Demented.
Is he asking if we're bashing
Sophie's
gays or if
choice.
he's bashing gays?
I have no idea. Andrew Tate made his money off porn star girls. Yeah, he's going to jail for all of that shit that he did. So, well, he's in jail to be honest. And Danny said correct on. So yeah, absolutely.
Why? Because they're you girls?
No, because he was manipulating them. They're trying to get him on like keeping these girls hostages. And
they had a trafficking thing. Yeah.
Like he's in jail now, and he's been in there for almost 2 months now for this shit. And there's a lot of stuff coming out. You got people defending him, you got people not defending him, and stuff like that. And Danny said, "Give me the bag." Absolutely, 100%.
That's the world we live in.
100%. I'm sorry. You know that.
Well, you have a choice. Everybody's gonna choose one side or the other.
Yep, I know. I feel you, and I know what I'm picking.
Me too. And
next one we have. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and by saying it, we may offend or question a few, but that's a problem for you to solve.
Well, yeah, because that's gonna bring up something that JG brought up. So you know what? Let me bring up this video real quick. You send the link, right? Because we're talking about, Hey, what's this? This ain't the link. Oh, okay, there it is. Oh yeah. Okay, I had to go down here to click. Wait, where's the video? I just watched it.
See if I sent it again.
No, I don't think you need to set it again. You sent it to me, this article here, but I don't see the video anymore. Yeah, try and send it again then.
It should be above the StreamYard link you sent.
Oh, it's above the StreamYard. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Okay, I got you. So I'm gonna go to the 5-minute mark, 5-minute 20 mark. And because this is pretty much kind of on the lines that we are talking about. And yeah, that's right, Danny. 40 minutes in and no cop bashing. But I did tell you tonight we didn't really have any cop bashing to do tonight. You know what I mean?
It's almost like you're missing it.
You know what I mean? He's missing it. He's like, oh man, these guys ain't talking about us tonight. Damn it. You know you missed it, Danny. All right, let's check out this video.
What's going to help raise the next generation of people that are able to look outside their own lived experience.
But I think that oftentimes those different ideas are presented in the classroom as a student as the only idea. When you're being taught that, oh, there's this many genders or anything like this, where you haven't been exposed to that in your own household, it's being presented as like the end all be all when it actually isn't. It's about educating and not indoctrinating. As long as that is presented as a counterpoint to, well, there's people who believe this, but there's also people who believe this, that's okay. The reality of it is that in most classrooms across the country, that isn't what's happening.
And to piggyback off of that, one side is labeled as a bigot, white supremacist, homophobic. There's a lot of parents in America that are Christian or, they believe in two genders, gender binary. And if you say that as a teacher, especially, you could be labeled as homophobic. So there isn't this unbiased classroom because there's one side that can't really be, as loud as the other side without risk of, losing our jobs even.
But you two are kind of the ones that brought in the conflict of like, there is an indoctrination going on and only one side, it has this opinion and this side is not allowed to talk and we have to be quiet. When really you guys are actually the loudest in regards to this issue thus far, right?
Now, yes,
so,
in
yeah,
this room,
so I
yes.
wouldn't necessarily say that that's the quiet. What I would say though is like, I do want to push away if possible, and I'd love for you to hear this, right? Is that idea of someone sees me and they go, oh, you're one of those that teach that there's 72 different types of gender. Desmond Fambrini, he, him, gender fluid, bisexual. My students do not know this because it doesn't come up because I'm a learning specialist and it's my job to educate and teach a curriculum, right? Now, if I'm asked directly by a parent or if there's confusion, oh, why do you wear makeup? Same reason why girls do, because it's fun for me. It doesn't need to be this very controversial, I'm going to mess with this child's upbringing. They're going to go home and they're going to turn into a gender fluid and they're going to think there's 72 genders.
I think that's a question you say you should go ask your parents about how they feel about that.
Well, so,
And
okay.
Teachers are supposed to teach reading, math, science, the things that are actually going to make them contributors to society. Answering a child's questions about whether or not men or women should be wearing makeup or not is, I don't think, within that realm.
Okay, so you said science, right? So we're talking about a physical science, we're talking about human anatomy and biology here. So a child says, I thought boys could not wear makeup. I have an X and Y chromosome and I'm wearing makeup. I could factually answer that without indoctrinating with any opinion.
But it's in no way scientific, your answer to that question.
How is that not scientific?
I would say maybe cultural or it's a perception or an opinion, but it's in no way scientific.
Anyone else? I am a chatty person, so I'm going to take a pause and I'm going to let's see if anyone else has something to say.
So I just had one question for you, because not all homes are welcoming or open to conversation or safe. So how do we balance that?
I think that what we're saying is that there's certain conversations that are not to be had with a teacher. And I think that the argument that a lot of people on the right and conservatives are making is that we just don't feel as if actors of the state should be having conversations that are taxpayer funding conversations with children about conversations that have not come up in their own households. And to that point, if you can't talk about God in the classroom, why can we talk about every gender under the sun, right? I think that's the conundrum that we find ourselves in. If we are banning those conversations, we banned those a long time ago, then how can we have these conversations just because they belong to a different side of the political aisle?
So I think we actually talk about God in the classroom all the time, right?
Yeah.
Who's taught religion? Who's taught world religions? Who's taught like history in the way that, Puritans, and that's okay because God is part of the fabric of history and whatever else.
We talk about it from a development perspective. This is how Christianity originated.
I understand.
This is how Islam originated.
I
We don't
understand.
talk about like, this is what this gender is, and this is if you feel this way, then there's gender affirmation therapy,
So
all those things.
I think you actually bring up a really good parallel of like, I feel comfortable and I feel like it is okay to talk about identity issues the same way we talk about God. Not indoctrinating anyone, not telling this is what you have to be or you have to believe, but saying this is something that some people believe.
But in the sense of gender identity, I don't see that parallel. How is that making someone more literate, more successful?
What I hear you saying is that learning about different gender identities does not make somebody a more considerate, well-rounded person, but learning about different religions does make you a more considerate, well-rounded.
I'm saying that is a part of history. I don't understand where gender identity falls within what we should be teaching.
Religious history and God comes into play in terms of history, cool. But don't gay people and trans people too? It's not like I'm the first transgender person to ever walk this earth. Like there are trans people that were, and gay people who were part of major movements in this country, like from the civil rights movement to the feminist movement to, I mean, obviously Stonewall. Like, isn't that part of history too?
Let's just take a step back. So just show of hands. Who here thinks public school is the best option?
You know, these are the arguments we have pretty often on our show. And, you know, it's spoken on an intellectual level here. You know, they use words that we don't necessarily use, but the meaning is all the same, you know. I don't force my ideology on people. I feel like, you know, I don't know who to pass blame on, because Dandelion has made some valid points that maybe it's not even actually them who are creating this counter. But
what up, T Virus? What's going on, brother? Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it, man.
What up, T? As we always state on the show, you got to call a spade, and I don't hear anybody getting fired for or reprimanded for talking about anything heterosexual.
I agree.
True.
It's always anytime someone says something about them, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you're homophobic, you're this and you're that, you know. Terrence
What was that description that I heard somebody use? The alphabet people.
Terrence said,
I'm like,
all I know is
what?
Humans love to fight with one another constantly. That's correct. I don't
Yeah,
care
but
what
now it's
humans
stupid
say.
shit. Stupid
That
shit.
has nothing to do with my existence. I feel you, brother. Go ahead, Roberto.
These fights are he said, she said fights, and they're the stupidest ones. The stupidest ones. They're the ones that you walk away from because they have no substance, you know. And I find these are the fights we're having now. It's just a distraction, and there's a bigger agenda going on in the background because this is stupidity. There's no resolution to this. Is it going to fade out? Is this just a trend, or this is what's to come, and it's going to just change? I won't say for the worse, because obviously it's for the better for some.
What are your thoughts, JG? You were going to say something earlier.
Yeah, there was another part of this. I can't remember what. I think it's further along, where the one teacher with the makeup on made a statement, which he said, she, whatever, said, if a parent doesn't want their child coming into my classroom because of what I look like and what makeup I wear, they are wrong for doing it. Now, when I heard that, you saw the insert, prior to all this. I would equate it to, and some people may not equate to this, but I will. A teacher who dresses provocatively in a classroom.
Facts. Yeah, you're right.
And you go to the student board or the principal, wherever you go to, say, hey, because regardless, there is a dress code. There is a book. There's a rule book that says, hey, it's black and white. Like it's that gray area. I think some people like that one teacher, other people try to squeeze in there. And if you try to cross over, if you try to take away that gray area, oh, you're homophobic, or you just don't want me teaching this, or you don't. And the one guy was right. Like, what kid in the classroom where we're teaching math and algebra is gonna come up and say, hey, why are there two different genders? Why is there more than two genders? Of course, I haven't been in high school in about 18 years, but still, I just don't get it. And why is that ideology have to be forced on someone to say, hey, like the one teacher said, the female teacher said, if I say this, I'll be considered homophobic. If I say, hey, this isn't the classroom to discuss that, oh, why not? Why don't you want to talk about it? Are you homophobic? No,
Yeah,
this is not the
always a
place for that.
penalty.
It's always a penalty. That's why schools, if they don't have, they should have like little programs where, hey, if you feeling like, and I could say you're a kid, you got peer pressure. I mean, kids are cruel, just like adults are. If someone says, hey, I think I may be gay, they're going to get picked on by somebody.
That's a fact.
It's going to happen. That's why they need stuff in place to where they can go, like in jobs. Someone stressed out, had to go to a counselor, talk with them. That's what the counselors are for. I don't believe a history teacher, a mathematics teacher, a science teacher should have to deal with that.
I feel you.
They're not
They shouldn't
trained
have to.
for that.
And
And
it should
Terrence,
be my right as a parent. If I don't want my child in this classroom because they are either dressed this way or they're not teaching what I think my child needs to be taught, that's my right as a parent.
absolutely.
You can't tell me
Terrence said,
I'm wrong for doing that. That's just ridiculous.
no, I feel you. Terrence said, as long as you're not hurting anybody, I don't think it should be much of an issue. Humans need to learn to get along as a species, but that ain't gonna happen.
You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully one day it does, you know what I mean? But
It's going the wrong way right now, Anzo.
yeah, I feel you. I feel
As
you
they
100%.
say in Quebec, cul-de-sac. You know what that is, huh?
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, man, we've had this discussion many times, and I personally, if I went to my son's school and his teacher was a transgender or whatever, I wouldn't care, as long as they're not trying to force it on my child. You know what I mean? If that's what you want to live your life as, and you're doing your teacher work and not like, hey guys, this is what it's like and you should do this, and you try to push their ideologies on him, then I don't care. Do what you want to do. You know what I mean? I don't care. But it gets to a point.
As a parent of a young child, if the child keeps coming home with questions in regards to gender, that's not what they're going to school for.
Exactly.
Well,
So
I mean,
maybe that's when it becomes an issue every day, Anzo.
Yeah, but if
They're
you're in
gonna ask-
biology, it's gonna come up. You know what I mean? You got biology class.
Yeah, but that's not for the extended. You don't start biology in elementary and do it throughout up until the end of high school. It's given to you maybe 2 or 3 courses near the end. But if every day your daughter or your son's coming home asking you about why does a man wear makeup, why does girls go in guys' bathrooms, why does when he's not asking you, could you show me math, could you teach me English, could you show me Spanish, or whatever curriculum they're in, I feel it's just a distraction. As JG said, if a woman comes in showing, a teacher comes in showing 3/4 of her boobs and she gets home for indecent exposure, they can't say that person's anti-indecent exposure. Doesn't make sense. So if I'm going to send home a man because he's wearing makeup when he shouldn't be, why am I anti? Why, Why?
So my question would be, if you went to class and had a teacher that was hot and had her titties out, would you complain?
I'll be at every parent-teacher conference. Hey.
Yeah, would you?
You don't see fathers suddenly showing up to parents-teacher meetings when that shit happens. Oh, you look down the hallway, all the fathers are here now. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? It's because of that.
Don't worry, baby, I got this. Don't worry, baby, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. I'm gonna go to it this time.
You see a lot of moms pinching their dads and pinching their husbands and shit. Oh, now I know why you came.
Absolutely.
But I mean, even in workplace, I've known women who've been sent home because what they wore wasn't appropriate. Just like I've seen men sent home because, hey, their pants are hanging off their ass, or they're not wearing the right
jogging
shoes.
pants
Like,
and shit. I mean? Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure,
it happens. So why is it any different if a guy wears makeup to a classroom, a building for education, and 9 times out of 10 they're gonna be sent home? They're gonna say, "Hey, can you just wipe that off?"
No, I feel you.
And
I
if they
feel
don't, it's probably gonna be insubordination. They're gonna probably that's grounds of termination usually. But then
It
you're gonna here
should be.
comes the hey, it's my right to wear makeup.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
my human right to do that, which it is.
Mhm.
But in a school, there are
Or
certain
working
rules that should be in
environment.
place.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. 100%. If they have those kind of working rules in, workplace, you should have it in schools. Absolutely. Terrence said, Onzo, for me, I don't care if a human is male, female, both tall, short, this race or that race, an animal doesn't matter. What I cared about is the character of the human. Absolutely. What up, K-Dot?
Facts.
What's
What
going?
up,
Thank you
K-Dot?
for popping in. I agree with you 100%. And seeing as that K-Dot is here, thank you, K-Dot, for popping in, because he sent me a video and I seen it on there and I was like, oh man, I want to get this. But since I'm banned from fucking Twitter for another 2 days, I couldn't actually save the motherfucker, right? So when I decided to go and look for it, I was like, fuck, I can't find it. So I got him to send it to me, right? So I'm gonna play this video real quick. Thanks again, K-Dot. Much appreciated. And Onzo, there were 2 sexy teachers I had in high school. One of them had glasses with a booty you can see from space. When she asked me to do my work, I listened to that teacher. Yes, man. Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Oh, facts.
100%. I think a hot teacher would have had me having straight A's. I'd have been studying. I'd have went to school the next day to try to impress and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to your next class and you get like an old hag that you're like, oh, you know what? Screw this. But I agree with you. I've had a hot one too, man, where I was just like, damn. She's like one of them substitute teachers that's learning to be a teacher. So she pops in and does a couple classes. Oh yeah, she was fine. Miss Amar. All right, so let me bring this up here. So I'm gonna read it first. Oh, I could throw the thread. There we go. Latinos chase down an autistic black child and jump him while hurling racial slurs on the R211 subway in New York. So I'm gonna bring up the video.
Get on the train.
That's the
Now on the 211 now. Get on the train. Get on the train. Watch out. Put your hands on us!
Savages, man. Filming it.
Nobody there to help.
You know what I
Nobody.
say, Arnzo? Listen,
Bruh.
we witnessed enough of that growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you this: as soon as the second guy jumps in, there's always someone that's in the background, and says, "Oh no, oh no." So you knew growing up, if you're gonna jump in, you better make sure you have boys with you, man, because you're getting knocked out.
Right.
That's
talking, guys. I'll be right back. But if
fucked up shit.
I hated that video. It made me so angry. But talk, guys. I'll be right back.
Hey, you know the reason why? Who's the girl pulling him saying get off?
Obviously, she's the perpetrator, and she has those boys with her.
And that's the reason why they did all that. If he had the same group of boys with him, that never would have happened.
No.
Never would happen.
But autistic kids are usually alone
Mm-hmm.
because
They
I deal
shouldn't
with
be, but yeah.
them, and they're always misinterpreted, misunderstood, and they're easy victims.
Mm-hmm.
But they hold no value. Why don't you pick on someone who can actually defend themselves and earn a stripe? Beating on someone defenseless. What does that do for people? That's what kills me the most.
And then you're hurling racial slurs at them. Because like I said, it's only one of him.
But how many black people are in that subway?
And that's what really pissing me off. Each one of those black people should have jumped in and saved them, pushed them back, or something.
Just one mention. What did they say? What did he
Exactly.
say? Something along those lines. Not once did you hear that. People just like pumping it up. And some of those people pumping it up, you could hear are black because they got that black, because that's what we like to do.
Mm-hmm. And you know what bothers me? Another thing too is these are Latinos, right? And they're running around saying the N-word like they better than us. Like white people will treat them any differently than they treat us. You know what I mean? Like, oh, N-word. I'm gonna say nigger alert, really? All right, cool. It's annoying. And K-Dots said, did you see all the coward bitch adults that stood around and let the kids do that? These adults wonder why kids don't take them seriously. They stand around and do nothing. It takes a village. Absolutely. That's what I say, man. If I was there, there's no way. There's no way. I'd be like, yo, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Exactly.
All right. You tough, right? Tough little kids beating up on an autistic kid by himself. You have 3-4 people jumping this little kid, really? Bro, I hope they all go to jail. I hope something happens to every single one of them. Hope this video goes viral. People find it, man, and they find them kids and do something with them because it's unbelievable, man. And I say this all the time. We don't get no respect, man. You know what I mean? Latinos calling us the N-word, white people calling us the N-word. You know what I mean? It's like Asian people calling us the N-word. It's like, frick, bro. Can't stand
they know
that
we're
shit.
divided. They know we're divided as a people. If we stood together 10 toes down, then none of this shit would happen.
That's what I'm saying. So if just one adult, because it doesn't take all of them, just takes one adult to stand in there. Just one. To come up there and say, yo, what the fuck are you guys doing? You know what I mean? Big old black man like Roberto walking up, he would have drop kick all of them kids. One time.
But then I got to worry about my back. Because you can see there's no heroes there, man. Like K-Dot said, it takes a village.
Absolutely.
2, 3, 4 adults just come in there and toss those kids like peas, and they run and scatter. But they see and they know that nobody does nothing, and that's why they're so brave that they could do that broad daylight. They ain't even worried about 5-0.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? K-Dot sent the $3 super chat. Thank you, K-Dot, very much. And he also said, time to build our own Wakanda. Absolutely. If us blacks was moving like Jews that run these corporations, we're unstoppable. 100%. And I think, Kanye took a lot of slack, but I think that's kind of the message Kanye West was trying to put out there. Was like,
Just relay the message, right?
Exactly. You know what I mean? And he did say some stupid shit at the same time which negated all the stuff he was trying to teach. Where he's like, listen, man, the Jewish, they have their own communities. They're making all kinds of money. They keep their money. They keep their money in their own community. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We don't.
That's why I love the Jay-Z song "Story of OJ." I love that song. So many gems in that song.
Absolutely.
They talk about, hey, take your drug money, buy up your neighborhood. That's how you rinse it.
Absolutely.
Simple stuff.
But you see what the problem with that is, right? Someone tries that, then you have black people coming into your store and be like, oh, yo, man, you give me a discount, give me this and that, right? We'd rather get a discount from our own people, but pay the Asian people or anybody else the full amount, and sometimes even 2 to 3 times more. You know what I mean? But they feel because, it's a black man and he looks like me and I go to his store, he should give me a discount. And that's not how it is, right? So I think it goes both ways, where we don't try to do anything to change our situation, but also when we do, we have our own people trying to take advantage of it as well. You know what I mean? Terrence Alonso, while I'm not surprised, that's sad. I don't like seeing that black people should be united, but we're not. Damn shame. If black people were united, a single mind of sort, we'd be like 300. We'd be strong, man. And that's the one thing that I think a lot of the white people fear, is that we will one day come together. You know what I mean? And
Not
we will
only
be
that,
an unstoppable force. Go ahead.
not only that, that we will come together and get revenge on what happened to us when we weren't together.
Absolutely. 100%.
Is that fear?
The black family discounts mandatory. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what it is. I know. It's like, yo, bro, I would back in the day, and before, well, and I can't say before internet, but before it was easy access to go online and find these movies and shit, I used to sell them. You know what I mean? And his cousin used to buy from me, right? And his cousin, cool dude, rest in peace, Sean, would never ask me for like a discount. But any other black person that wanted a movie from me, bro, $10, give it to me for $5 now. Give me 2 for $5. Give me 3 for 10. Give me this and that. You know what I mean? While his cousin would come by me and pick up, like, if I had 5 new movies that week, he would take all 5, never ask me for a discount, and I would give him. I'm like, here, pay me for 3, take these 2. Pay me for 4, take this one. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. But when you come to me and you start asking me for discounts every single time you want to buy a movie from me or something from me, gets a little ridiculous. Like, bro, you wouldn't go to the shop and ask them that. You know what I mean? You wouldn't go to the shop and ask the Asian people that. So why are you asking me for it? You know?
You got a
Crazy.
point.
Anzo, some human asked me, because of the way you are, do you even identify as a black man? I was like, what the fuck? Of course I identify as a black man. I'm proud to be black. Stupid question. Absolutely, 100%. I wouldn't want I wouldn't want to be white. You know what? I'm not gonna say white. I wouldn't want to be any other nationality. I am happy and proud to be a black man. And I know there's white people out there that are happy to be white. There's Asians that are happy to be Asian. But you look at our history, they take everything from us. You know what I mean? Like, we got this swag, we got this culture where it's just like, oh yeah, we love what they're doing. You know what I mean? Let's do this, let's do that, let's do it this way. They take everything from us. Why would I want to be anything else? I wouldn't.
Resilience.
You know what I mean? I almost snapped that human's neck, but it's all about peace, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it took you a long time, Terrence, to hold that in and not snap his neck for real. If a black family member is a mechanic, he has to give us discounts. That's the only person in the family that needs to do discounts. Everyone else fine though. You listen, man. If you're a family member, yeah, okay, obviously I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? But you just some Joe Schmo, like a dude that I know from the block, you know what I mean? And you coming in here always asking for a discount? Nah, screw that.
But that's not how the Jewish people work, you see? And that's why we will never be on that level. Sorry to say, the way they work is, if you're Jewish, you get the discount. If you're Jewish, listen, I used to do security at Jewish weddings, and all the people that attend the wedding would come in and drop money in the basket. And I go, that's for the bride? That's how they do it? They don't put in envelopes? I go, no, that's not for the brides. That's for the community. That's for the people that come here that don't have a home, or don't have a house, or don't have food, or don't have clothes. All of that money goes to them. And I'm telling you, it's not just $20. And I'm like, my response was exactly like JG. Wow. And this is, I didn't just do one wedding, Anzo.
Yeah.
Every wedding I did, those same 2 women were there, and they were getting endless money.
And you know what the difference is too, Roberto? That money is probably actually going to go
It is.
Cause that they say it is. You know what I mean?
They fly their own back home free.
Mm-hmm. But you
Tell
see,
me
the
I can
thing
go to
is now,
Jamaica for free and I might stay.
right? But the thing is now, Roberto. But the thing is now, Roberto, you go to a black wedding, right? And you go in there and you see people doing that, and you do it, and then you ask them, "Where's it for?" And they say, "Yeah, it's for people in the community that have no place to go or whatever." Are you gonna believe them?
Well, you know what? The first time, Monzo, I'm gonna hope. If I don't see this shit happening, I'm gonna go, yeah. You got me the first 2-3 times.
Right.
Ain't happening no more. I'm sorry. Get the fuck out. You know?
But you see, that's the problem, though. I think we're not trusting of our own either, right? Because we'd be
Because we've been
looking
going
at it
through it.
sideways.
We've
It's
been
like,
going through it for too long.
yeah,
We
yeah.
are brainwashed. To get out of this way of thinking will take many generations, but it's not even being taught. And like I said, Anzo, for me growing up, anything that inspired me to be more black, to want to know more about black, got shut down.
Yeah.
They were all considered to be negative, either violent, uh, counter against, the government, something. Where we saw positive, we saw progress. So it just leads me to believe they just don't want it to happen.
Yep.
And I can't blame it on white people. I blame it on the power that be. And if they happen to be white, then those white people in that power are the ones doing it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Terrence Alonso, I don't care if people disagree about trivia stuff, but when it comes to important things, we should be united. It's a whole different ballgame. I agree with you 100%, Terrence. Don't disagree. We do stuff for our community. People rather point out the bad we do. I agree with you, Parco. I do. I know we do. And I know
Everything's
you
good to
have
go.
right. I know there's some celebrities out there and people out there that actually do stuff for the community, but I think it needs to be on a bigger level. You know what I mean? Like, all of us, everybody, every single person. Like me personally, even now, like I go to like downtown or somewhere and I see a dude that's hungry or something like that, I try to do my best to, like, if I have change or something on me, I give it. The other day, I was walking home from work, right? I usually take the bus, but I was walking a bit after I went to the supermarket. So there was this black dude. He was kind of young, you know what I mean? Maybe 25 or so, whatever. So I walked by, he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on?" And then he's like, "Oh, you see there's a fish and chips place there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." He's like, "Do you want to help me out? I'm kind of hungry, haven't eaten anything." And I was like, "I ain't got no money." All right. So I start to walk away, and then I was like, "Man, shit, I feel bad." So I went back and I bought him the fish and chip meal. I was like, "What do you want?" So he's like, "Oh, fish and chips, please, blah, blah, blah." So I paid for it. I got him the meal, and then I left, right? And I felt bad that I walked away, right? But at the same time, it's like everywhere you go, someone's asking you for this, someone's asking you for that. But as I started to think about it when I'm walking away, I'm like, he didn't ask me for money. You know what I mean? He didn't ask me for money. He asked me for food. I can get the man some food. So I went and got him some food. You know what I mean? And I try to help out as much as I can if I can do it. So
it's funny you say that because I'm very selective in who I actually give money to. But if you ask me for food, I am yet to say no.
Facts.
Could you get me a bottle of water? 100, follow me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But could you, one guy, he stopped me, and I really only had my debit card on me. And I said, "Sorry, buddy, I don't have any change I'd give you if I did." He goes, "It's okay, man. You could do me a favor another way." I'm like, "Okay, let me hear you." He goes, "Yeah, listen, there's a hotel right down the street here. I have this much money on me." He pulls out a bunch of change in his hand. He goes, "If you could pay the balance and get me a room." I was like, "What?" "Sorry, boss, I gotta go. I'm in a hurry. I gotta go." But I'll tell you this. The whole drive to where I went, it was a fucking battle in my head, Anzo.
Yeah, I know.
because that was some random request. That wasn't like you spare
Mhm.
some change.
Mhm.
You don't have change. That's fine. Have a good day. I get you a
Right.
hotel room.
Mhm.
I started thinking of the weather. I saw the forecast for this week. It's not that cold. And all this shit I'm thinking in my head, but it wasn't a
Uh-huh.
brother, mind you.
Yeah,
Not that if it
yeah.
was, I would have said okay, but
Yeah. It's not always a brother for me either. You know what I mean? It's not always a brother, for real. It's just when I
when it's a
see that.
brother right away, I'm racist. I think he's a fucking crackhead because he kind of looks like one. And I supported that fucking habit because it's a never ending story, right?
Yeah, that's why I said I'd rather if you say you need some food or something, I'd rather go get you
100.
some food
Mm-hmm.
than to be like
100.
I'm gonna give you this and that.
And I ain't buying you just a Happy Meal. That ain't gonna fucking do you right.
Right.
You get a double Big Mac trio. I'll splurge on that one.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Hold on, give me a second. Karen said, Anzo said, when I see other black people, I just say, what's up? I've never been afraid of my own people. As a black man, I'm not necessarily typical, but I'm still black regardless. Yeah, absolutely. You should never be
Mm-hmm.
afraid of your own people. Absolutely not. K-Dot said, I try to give when I can too. Donated some clothes a while back to some less fortunate. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. And me, I had a bunch of clothes to wear I wasn't using, like when I started, you know, making like some real dough and buying some more clothes, all the old clothes, packed them up in a bag and took them to like, the UNICEF and stuff like that for people, and like, here, boom. I made sure all the clothes were wearable. So I do what I can. Unfortunately, black people, while we help each other to some degree, is not enough and not often enough. I think consistency is the key. I agree with you 100%. I do think it's not often enough, and I think it's sometimes it's like publicity stunts. But I want to get to this comment here. Parko said, I seen black millionaires build HBCU dorms because the school was underfunded. Yeah, I've heard about that stuff too, and I've heard about a lot of donations to those HBC colleges and the black colleges, which is good. We need to do that, right? But since we got on the college topic, I have another one I'm gonna bring up to you, which
I
I
just I
want to.
just wanted to say one thing before we go on college.
Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
stick on this black thing. Don't you ever find it's funny that you don't see a lot of successful businesses owned by two black guys, like as partners?
Yeah,
I
because they
never even
always
thought
have
about
that.
that.
Very,
Yeah.
it's very fucking rare, and you know why that is? At least this is my theory.
Mhm.
Because obviously you have two different people, so how you manage your life and how I manage mine is different. Let's just say I invest my money in stock and Anzo invests in Jordans and clothes, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not really generating no money, yet I'm doubling my money over here. So because I'm doubling my money, I could go and buy me a Rolex. I could go and buy me a Lamborghini. Before Anzo would be proud of me, he'd be thinking how I'm ripping him off. And I ain't sharing my money with him. And that's what I seen a lot of when I saw black guys team up. They're always wondering what their brother or brethren is doing instead of making the most of their own. Remember tax, Anzo? How did tax come to be? Because these guys, especially uptown, these guys see your gates making more money. What? They tax. Not that you do something, you go out and buy boomer shit and take those custies, or you drop your price and take those custies. No, I'm gonna tax your shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's imagine if you link up, how much powerful you'd be, like New Jack City. Link up.
Absolutely. But we have a tendency
to divide.
To hate to see another black man succeed.
You know what I mean? And we can't see it and be proud and encourage. We want to fucking scrutinize and manipulate and find a way to fucking take it.
Absolutely. 100%.
It's fucking sad. That's the poison I find in black people that we need to overcome.
I
Help
agree.
more. Help more.
I agree. Let me get to these comments before I move on. Terrence said, Anzo, also that there's different types of black people. We're not all the same. There's beauty in most of it. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's some fine ass beauties out there. I got cursed out by a bum outside of Walmart for not giving him any money. Yeah, they do that sometimes too. They do that. And that's the thing too. They expect like you're supposed to give it to them. You know, it's like, no, I'm not. I don't have to give it to you. You know what I mean? But if I feel, because sometimes you can tell where it's just like, yeah, no, you can do something. You probably want that money for drugs or some shit like that. And then you can tell the ones that are really hungry and need it for food, you know? Onzo, money is important, but not more important than the connections you build. Absolutely, 100%. In New Jack City, as long as you don't pull what Nino Brown did at the end of the film, it's all good. When they were
Money
working
got to his
together
head.
as a family, they came up.
The money
Okay,
got to
but
his
yeah,
head.
yeah, but he also snitched on someone too, and he lied about it. You know what I mean? He said he wasn't Nino Brown. He said it was that light skinned dude, right? But he was just trying to get out of jail. He wasn't
There's a
trying to go to
rotten
jail.
apple in every batch.
Yeah. He just wasn't trying to go to jail. He was like, screw that. So now, like I was saying with the college stuff, here's what Dr. Umar had to say about that.
Better stop sending the kids to college and start sending them to trade school, because with the artificial intelligence takeover, any job that a robot can do won't be around 10, 20 years from now. You have to make sure you are majoring in a profession that can only be done with human hands. You follow me?
Yeah.
The trades can only be done with human hands.
He's making a very, very valid point. AI is fucking up a lot of people.
And to be honest with you, a lot of successful people haven't went to college. You know what I mean? It's not what it used to be. It's not the end all to be all anymore, right?
Because of the internet. It's a fucking tool, man.
Absolutely.
You don't need to go to college to find a successful Ponzi scheme on the internet.
For real. So damn.
After a talk, huh?
I did.
That shit is Mission Impossible, dog.
I did. So I kind of agree. I would think it would be better to go to a trade school than to college, right? Go learn about mechanics, electronics. I went to school for electronics, right? So, please don't, Donzo. Don't worry, I'm not dying. I'm not dying. Went down the wrong way, but it is. But yeah, I went to school for electronics, you know, and I think it's a good trade to know, know how to fix things, right? Things have changed a little bit, in a motherboard or whatever, but I can still look at it and I can tell a capacitor. I can tell of what the voltage is. I can read a schematic. I learned all of that in school for electronics. So I think it's better to go for a trade than to actually go to college. Now, if you're planning on being a doctor, yeah, go to college. You know what I mean? That's your doctor, lawyer, 100%. But anything else, like you said, I really think you should go to trade school. And I think college is a little bit overrated now.
Graphic designing, AI is going to kill that.
Oh, yeah.
You know how much money you're spending in that course?
Mm-hmm.
And she's already deflated and she didn't even complete it yet.
Yeah.
Because you have apps doing shit. Imagine, give it another year.
Mm-hmm. You see, I say that. I don't think the AI will kill it. It'll be less in demand, obviously, right?
They're gonna do a hurt.
Yeah, right. But you're still gonna need animators. You're still gonna need, people who can draw. You're still gonna need stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna hurt the industry for sure, 100%. Because if I can make a movie, right, and I could get the AI and it could do everything I wanted to do cheaper than it would be to, let's say, have someone draw it out, animate and everything like that, you better believe they're going to use the AI for it, right? But I think there's some drawings or some things, at least now anyways, that I think it might be better to have an artist with. But when the AI 10 years from now, it's perfected or close to perfected, yeah, it's gonna be rough on people, man.
You make a very valid point, Anzo. But I could tell you this: I had a friend who had a 3-generation printing company in Verdun. This guy that supplied the world. He's out of business now,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he said it in the late '80s, before it really took off. Before Instaprint or whatever that company came out, doing 100 cards for $10.
Mm-hmm.
He said that, I don't see they're gonna do that much damage to us. We're more international, worldwide. Da da da. He's out of business today.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of time before technology, because it's advancing so fucking fast. People are piggybacking off of ideas and just upgrading and upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. And my buddy pulled out this app because you can only get on iPhone. For that, I am sad. I have a Samsung. But he said to this AI thing, I'm thinking of starting a marketing business. In 20 seconds, gave him a 15, 20-page breakdown from marketing to who to contact
Wow.
for what. Anzo, my mouth dropped. What? Right away, I went searching for this app right away, and I said, fuck, I can't find it. It's only for iPhone. Wow. And that's
Well,
a free app.
Well, my boy told me he had an app. Just spoke to him like a week ago, and he said he told the app his life story, and the app wrote him a 200-page story of his life. Yeah,
You can write a book
in
in 5 fucking minutes, not even.
Yeah, I wrote a book for him, and he said he did it twice, and it came up with different book each time.
Wow.
Anjo, imagine the world being full of Terrence AIs. That sounds like a tropical paradise. Not really, because the Terrence AIs would be nonstop trying to take over the fucking world. We can't have that, bro. They would nonstop. Terrence says 96, was it 96? 96% of the humans on this planet can go. He said if he had the power, he'd get rid of 96% of humans. That's Terrence.
I hope to be that 4% along with my
Oh yeah, for sure. He said anybody that's his friend or family is safe, but anybody else, I never went to college because I saw everyone in my family get degrees, but nobody got jobs in what they majored in, and then nobody paid back those student loans. Absolutely, 100%. And that's the thing. A lot of the people that spend all that time in college, 5, 6, 7 years, they come out and they're doing jobs that they did not major in, right? And especially with certain fields where it's saturated, it's even harder to get jobs in those fields. And you went and put yourself in debt to college for 5, 6 years, and you come out there and you're working at Tim Hortons or McDonald's. You know what I mean?
Well, fuck, a counselor isn't a genie. They can guide you in a trade that's hot today, and then boom, something comes out, and it ain't hot 2 years from now when you're in a
Absolutely.
5-year course.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's the dice you roll. Like Anzo
Hey.
said, become a doctor or a lawyer.
You look at stuff like certain degrees, like business administration, something like that. Freshman year, okay, man, a lot of people need these positions. By the time you get to your senior year, it's grown so fast, and it's been taken over by AI. Like you look at accounting, computers can do all this stuff now. Excel can do all this stuff for you. What I mean, so now you're stuck in debt. And
100%.
how long usually take? What, 5 to 10 years to pay it back, depending on how much you owe?
Depending on how much you owe. Sometimes it takes a lifetime. You know what I mean? It takes some of these students a lifetime to pay back that stuff. So I don't know, man. That's why you say go to trade school. Learn to become an electrician, a mechanic, or something like that.
And back to what Dr. Umar was saying.
Yeah.
He made a lot of sense in his whole Pan-Africanist viewpoints, which is kind of based off the Garvinites and that Garveyism. Kind of going back to what we did prior to trying to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. Right? The book to Washington era, like, hey, We're not at the point where we can go to school and do all this stuff like W.E.B. Du Bois can. Why don't we use what we do know? We know how to do carpentry. We know how to work the field. We know how to sew. We know how to wash clothes. Why don't we perfect that, create our businesses, let the money roll in?
Absolutely.
That's what all the original black
Yeah, go ahead.
millionaires did. That's what a lot
for
of, like
sure.
you were saying, the millionaires who never went to school, went to college.
Mhm.
Or if they did go to college, they didn't graduate, they're millionaires because they saw the light before everybody else did. Like, hey,
Absolutely.
why am I doing this? Like, say, go to McDonald's, flipping burgers, and my supervisor, who barely got a high school GED, telling me what to do.
Facts. 100%. Terrence said, Nzo, AI is going to take over. Humans are in deep, deep trouble. Technology will unite as humans tear each other apart. And then we'll be living in the Matrix. My school resource officer scouted me out in middle school and was going to help me take the path of a perp sketch artist. I passed on it. All of that is done now on computers. Yeah. So imagine what if you had went to school, got that loan and everything, you know what I mean? Like if you get a scholarship, you're good, right? You get to go to school on scholarship, you're good. Take that money because you ain't paying. But if you got to pay, I don't know, man.
You better choose right. You better choose right.
Art.
Facts.
It's not, but I promise you, eyes only.
It will
it's gonna get to a point where you're not gonna be able to tell it's AI. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be able to get to that. And I haven't really tried it out yet. And I watch Amazing Lucas, and there was a few streams where he was doing some AI stuff, man. And this thing was making. He just gave it a picture, and it was making like an anime of him. You know what I mean? And it was fire. I was like, damn, like perfect. Like you know what I mean?
Look what printers are doing now. You remember they printed out a car and
Oh yeah,
everyone wow, they printed a fucking rocket that's going into space that NASA is going to be using on a printer.
3D printers. Yeah.
Yeah. A rocket ship, man.
So
Insane.
I must shower because the world can't handle my odor. The humans are not grateful yet. Terrence will return. Do your thing, Terrence. Take care,
fresh,
man.
Go fresh, yo.
You know what I mean? And
Fresh,
we
so
already
clean.
we already know you're not from this planet, Terrence. No worries. We are just missing Skynet. Hey, man, you never know. AI may come aware one day and decide that humans are a threat to the planet. And next thing you know, they're because we had that video, and we're like, we don't know if it's real or not, but they talked about the 3 or the 4 robots that they made, and the one robot before they dismantled it was searching the net on how to survive. That's crazy if that was true.
Say that they were talking about this robot that didn't want to shut down. I don't know if it was
That's
Sony
crazy.
or something to do with Apple or something along those lines. But I read an article and I don't want to see this shit, man.
Yo, it's crazy. Like, just think about it, right? It may not be in our lifetime, Roberto, but just imagine what our grandkids, when they're adults, what this world is going to look like. Because remember when we were growing up, we thought we would have had flying cars by now.
They're here.
Yeah.
Flying cars, a flying motorcycle.
Yeah, but it's not really the thing that we thought it would be. You know what I mean? We thought by 2000 we'd be living in the Jetsons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Some of them are true. Some of them.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Drive on land. We really want them in the sky.
Right. But you see, when we talk about stuff like, you watch those movies with robots. Well, they're making robots, right? There's robots doing backflips and all kinds of shit, and then they're gonna try and put artificial intelligence into these robots.
These motherfuckers, yo, they jump up buildings.
Like that shit is happening. So it's gonna be
crazy. And they don't fall. You see that? They fucking hit it with sledgehammer. They hit it with fucking big things, and
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah,
losing
yeah,
balance,
yeah.
man. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I seen that one. Yeah, I seen that video. Yeah, where they're beating. I kind of felt bad for the robot, to be
Me
honest
too,
with you. You
because they
know
were
what I
beating
mean?
the shit out of that robot. They put
You know
that,
what I
that
mean?
robot through crazy shit, and it
I know
never
it's a
fell
robot.
once.
Yeah, I know it's a
Wow.
robot, but I was like, man, like that. I don't know. This is cruel. This is
Yeah, it's
cruel to
abuse.
me. You know.
It's
You know
abuse.
what I mean? But it's like it's a fucking robot. I shouldn't
Has
feel
no
like
feelings.
right. So why am I having feelings? And I'm just like, because one day
Society's
that
doing it to
robot
you,
may
Anzo.
become aware and realize what they're doing to it and want to fucking kill these guys after that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I have a heart and I just feel, even though it's like, you know, if you could do that, if you could sit there and beat up a robot like that, I can just imagine what you wish you could do in real life
Well,
to somebody.
you
You
know
know what I
why they're
mean?
beating him up?
Yeah,
They're
yeah. To
beating him
test
up
in
so
this,
he could take that abuse when he's
absolutely,
coming to do his duty.
absolutely, 100%.
I'm
When they
telling
send
you,
them,
man. They're gonna start sending those guys after
yeah,
black
yeah,
criminals when black criminals are fucking fighting back.
absolutely, 100%, 100%.
You don't
So,
remember that fucking black? There was an event where some black guy, I don't know if he was an ex-cop or something, he was held up in a building, and they sent that fucking robot in there to shoot him up. I don't remember when that took place, but they didn't even have the balls to go in there themselves. They sent a fucking robot, remote control kind of shit that we saw in movies in the 90s.
mhm. Yeah, they do shit like that. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Whenever there's a bomb threat, they send in the robot.
Yeah,
Check out the
they have a
bomb and
robot
shit.
like that, something similar to the bomb one, to defuse humans.
I never seen it, but I'm sure they do. Wouldn't surprise me. All right. So before we close it up, I had this one more. Roberto, JG, check this one out.
Oh, I saw this.
You see what happens when
Oh
you get
my
too cocky?
God.
I say,
First
this-
rule of the track.
some
You
big
do not
fucking-
look to the side. You
Some
look
big
straight
guys he's
ahead and
running up
finish.
against.
You know what
Big
I
guy
mean?
was moving though. I'll give it to him. But still.
Yeah, yeah, but he got cocky. He did the peace sign and wiped out and lost that freaking race because of that.
You can't
You know,
fucking double. You can't double task. Run, put my fingers up. Fucking
Oh,
spaz.
Man.
that is a sign, not
That
to
you
fuck
are a
around.
spaz. That's what I said
Facts.
when I saw that. Look at the spaz. You know you had no business putting your fingers up like that because it's hard enough for you to just run alone.
Facts.
Don't try and fucking solve the world.
100%.
Fuck, that raccoon laughing just made me laugh. Oh shit. He leaned his head back and everything.
Yeah, I might try the luchador next time.
Oh shit. Well, it was a great show, guys. I guess we will close it out for the night. Thank you, everybody that came in. I'm talking, but Roberto should be doing this. So, Roberto.
Well, you know what? I didn't want to say anything, but you know, you took control of the comments. I said, it's going to be hard for Anzo to let go of the mantle. You know, he's so used to being there.
It's
Doesn't matter
because-
what side you put me on.
No. It's only because you don't have control of it. But next week you will have control of it.
Yeah, but you know, I could scroll up and down on my phone here and see the chat. But you know,
Yeah, I know, but
you're calling
can't-
it out.
You can't highlight it, you know. But next
I don't want
week you'll
people
have-
to think that just joined the show that I'm trying to take it over, you know, and shit.
No,
so
next week you will. Next week is
for those of you who joined us late, like Eyes Only and T and you know Tony, I'm on the left because I'm supposed to be the man tonight. You know, not that I'm not the man when I'm on Anzo's side, but the man on the left, Anzo's right. I was in full control for a good 10 minutes, right, JG?
Hey, you were on it. You were
10
on it.
minutes, 10, 15 minutes. I was running things. I was calling out people who were joining the show. And then, I don't know, like Anzo downshifted or he hit the nitrous. He just surpassed me, and I couldn't take the wheel from him because I'm so used to being on that side. You know, just minding my business, jumping in like that guy on the Sullivan Show. You know.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? What was that guy on the couch there? Just every time he just.
Oh, Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon, yeah,
McMahon,
you know, I'm
yeah.
the Ed McMahon usually. So,
Well, you're gonna be Johnny Carson for a minute.
It was good. It was fun. It was nice. You know, we didn't have any topics, but like I told Nzo, more times than not, when we come on a show with no topics, that's when I usually have the most fun, to be honest, because everything's just so random and not pre-written or pre-thought out, or fresh off the chest.
I feel you.
So JG, tell the people where they can find you, yo.
Well, you know, you can find me on Twitter, Shaolin Terrific. Every now and then I say something, not often, but I guess I need to start changing that. You can find me Wednesday nights with the great Nzo and the great Roberto doing the thing. Also find me on the Supervisor channel.
I think if you come with that little raccoon, it's going to be hard for people to be mad at you. To be, oh, he's so cute. Just forget what he said. He's so cute. Look at his ears. Look at his tail floating in the back there. So you can say all the shit you want with this fucking shit. JG, you're on fire, bro. You're on fire. Nzo, you know you're the man. People know where to find you. But for those who don't, please tell them.
Find me right here, Big Ford Entertainment, Wednesday nights with Roberto and JG, 2 in the O.O.C. Always trying to have some fire topics for you guys and some fun. Hope you enjoyed the show as we did. It was a pleasure. Roberto, let's close it out.
On that note, you know how we do. Peace.
Peace.
Nzo,
Lift me up, hold me down, keep me close, safe and sound.